Everyone, good evening and welcome to Impossible Landscapes here on Lost Caravan RPG. I am your handler, Doc Rimbo. I use he, she, or they pronouns, and this place is a safe place for you no matter how you present your gender. We welcome you here, and we're glad that you're here to Spooky House. Impossible Landscapes, our Delta Green playthrough. And this is our season finale for season one. And so I don't know about the cast. My nerves are like that. And got so much that I'd love to get to. So we should just get going. First, thanks to our sponsors. Thank you to Epidemic Sound. In particular, I use Epidemic Sound in all of like the sort of background music that you'll hear through this campaign. I've also used it for sound effects to make the agents go whoa like that sometimes. Except for one time when Turk did it with a door knocking. Don't do the door knocking thing, Turk.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I will piss and then I will cry.
Liv is gonna piss and cry.
You want that on your
conscience?
conscience?
You want that? Is that what you want?
You think this is a fucking
I don't
game?
think so.
You think it's a joke?
I don't. This is real life.
Stop making door knocking sounds. We are going to go around and meet our cast one last time for season one. Oops, in chat going, is this a game to you? Is this a role-playing game? We're going to go around and say hi to our cast. Tell us who you are, and tell us about your agent in a sentence or two. And maybe one thing, where is their mind? What is left of it? What are they thinking about? What are they, heading into this final session? And we'll have a recap in just a little bit. But let's go around the circle. We'll start with directly to my on-screen stage left with someone who thinks this is a game. Turk.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm a silly goofy. I'm a silly goofy little guy.
Turk, I want you to compose a 10-minute song with a small instrument of your choosing, and then apologize to me in song.
Can it be door knocking?
No, you sick fuck.
But the name of the song has to be Spooky House.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll get to work on that. But in the meantime, hey everybody, I am Turk or Turk Accented. If you are fans of door knocking, and only if you're part of my door knocking family. Otherwise, you can't call me Turk Accented. You have to earn the right to put the accent on it. Anyway.
Everyone go to Turk's Patreon for more door knocking stuff.
For more door knocking content.
Exclusive door knocking content. I found some solid oaken door. Anyway, I will be playing Agent Michael, who is the quarter cubic inch of salt, keeping the madness of this team in check, and will eventually throttle out the demon that they have all created.
Definitely got more than a quarter inch.
Well, anyway,
carry on.
Carry on somehow. Wow, it's good I get all the emotions out now so I can stone face later. Michael right now is carrying a lot. He's really hoping that this crazy lady doesn't try and attack him, because New York may not be a stand your ground state. I don't know, but I think Carcosa might be. So it's about to get a little explosive in Michael's life, and
our Michael cliffhanger last week was you went to kindly inform the residents of the McAllister building after dark that the eviction was taking place and they needed to get out because you had plans to do something with the McAllister building.
I had been marking some certain spots along the building's infrastructure, harmless little graffiti, and
they're saying place bomb here.
Yeah, the site A, site B, wherever you want to pick.
Casa, they were triangles. They were green triangles.
Mm-hmm. And he felt like it was his good Christian duty as God's favorite Marine to slide the eviction notices under some doors, give everyone at least a fair shot at. You can't distract me with your adorable child keeper. Anyway,
Turk, stay focused. Do not look at Hoop Baby.
That could be a demon.
That, of course,
trying to distract us with his baby.
That, of course, could have been their way out, but it apparently has not been for this crazy white lady. So,
well, Michelle Van Fitz is equally as unpleasant in the nighttime as she is during the daytime, but
Yeah.
also seems slightly more unhinged and has reached in her pocket.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same. We're gonna share candies with each other, clearly. So
Ooh,
yeah, I've
that
got
sounds like fun.
I've got Snickers bar in there.
Good. Thank you, Turk. I can't wait to see where you go tonight. Let's keep on going to your stage left and say hi to Colin. Colin, spooky little house.
I'm going through my files looking for that song right now.
Are you really?
I would, and I think I found it. I would like to give a shout out to an unofficial sponsor of this show.
Okay.
I feel like we don't give enough credit to all that they do to make this stream a reality. Really, no session of this stream would have happened at all without the B-52s. And
True.
I want to give a particular shout out to Fred Schneider of the B-52s, who has given us so much entertainment over these weeks and months that we've been together.
do it for him.
Thank you.
We do it for Fred.
You're welcome.
Delta Green
House.
Green baby.
It's all of you watching have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's fine.
Sometimes I wonder how far on the autism ADHD spectrum I am, and then I realize that every tabletop role-playing stream I'm a part of now, I reference the B-52s in the pre-show. And so I'm probably on there.
And we just keep doing it, and it keeps working. I mean, it's only stupid if it doesn't work.
There you go. Colin.
Right. So, hi. Yeah, I'm Colin. And I'm going to play Mythic, as I have been doing for some time now. Mythic is a professor of history. I'm turning into Mythic as I'm saying. He is a professor of history and mythology, because he doesn't see the difference. And also a highly successful author, which is why he's currently at a book signing for his most recent novel. But he's also holding this entire book signing hostage with a shotgun. So,
and to be fair, this book signing was what's the word I'm looking for here? Foisted upon him,
and also foisted and also hosted in the demi-plane.
In in some sort of weird in-between space of this bookstore.
Yeah, in some kind of space between spaces. Wow.
I can't wait for your next character.
Yeah. And some of my guests at the book signing were a child murderer and a child. So, wow.
Tense.
Yeah. And then also a guy who wrote a evil play that consumes your mind. So, it's weird. And a guy named Bob, too, is also there.
Yep. Triple Bob is there. Robert.
Bob Cubed. So it's pretty wild, yeah. And Mythic is, what's he feeling? What's he thinking? He's losing his fucking mind right now is what he's thinking and feeling. And he's pretty much ready for this all to be over, one way or another.
It will be. Colin, just by your estimation, odds of Mythic coming out of this alive. So
why did you put quotes in?
Well, I was gonna say unharmed, but nobody's.
That never happens. Yeah. Odds of Mythic coming out. Okay. I mean, I think I'd give him a solid 30% chance of being alive when this is over, but I'm leaning toward like 70% death. Because if the supernatural spooky house shit doesn't kill him, then fucking Michael will. So
that's a great.
I rolled a 32 for you.
Yeah, last week, Mythic found out that he had a book signing at a bookstore, which he didn't know about. And this bookstore, equally as weird as the McAllister building, and ended up giving a book reading of his book, The City Never Sleeps, to a crowd of a demon that has embodied as a 12-year-old schoolgirl, a child murdering ghost, a guy who claims to have written The King in Yellow, and Robert, and then Micro shows up.
And I'm holding a shotgun to all of them right now.
Yeah. And demanding answers. Speaking of demanding answers, Liv, I demand you introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Liv.
Hi,
I'm Liv. I play Agent Micro. I use she, they pronouns, but Micro does she, her. I'm so excited I got my book. It's the best day ever, except my former professor does want to kill me, which is like, it's usually reversed. That's usually not how this goes. Do I feel confident in Micro getting out of this? No, I don't. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Micro was one of the only people on the team who was really fully exposed to that play, Mythic being the other one. And both of you have been consumed with this idea of finding a copy of this fully written play. And oh boy, when you came to this spooky bookstore, did you find one? You sure did. Robert was more than happy to lead you to this place where he went down into a hole beneath the bookstore that seemed to fit one person and saw a hand reach out and hand him this red book that has the yellow sign on the cover.
I don't have a red book near me, sadly, but
That's all right.
It's yellow.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it. Fuck it, we'll fix it in post.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Yeah, no, it's a little concerning. And logically, you might be thinking, gee, Liv, when somebody's really excited to give you something, isn't that weird? And I say, no, comrade. That's just the spirit of capitalism taking you over. It's great when people give you things for free, especially out of creepy, crawly holes with walls, hands coming out on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that alone puts Micro on the path towards what happens. How does Micro come back from this?
Yeah.
We'll find out tonight. And then, of course, missing last week, but we're so glad that you're here, Casa. Hi, Casa. Hi, you're muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh, never mind.
No,
I just
I'm
didn't
not.
hear you. Say something again.
Hello.
Okay.
I need to bring it real close. But hello, I'm Casa. I really missed this last time, and I'm really upset. But now I'm here, and this is great. I play everyone's favorite international super shit-stirring spy, Martini. Hello. Right now, I think Martini's she's peaked at her friendship level. So she's like, everyone's my family now. This is great. And then now we're just kind of like seeing what happens. So she's not really sure what's going to happen, but she never thinks she's going to survive the next day anyway. So
yeah, Martini for me is the outlier of just the most interesting member of this team. And that Martini is both already kind of far gone and inured to like violence and morality, but at the same time is the one who is the best at keeping things at a distance. You know what I mean? And so like she plays it really cool, whereas like certain other people in the group are like, gotta find out more about this, and chase it down.
Yeah.
So but
enjoying my time.
We explained Martini's absence last week as Michael sent her to pick something up from this storage locker in New Jersey. And she is on her way back through the Holland Tunnel with something in Michael's car. We'll decide what that is in just a minute.
I'm driving really well.
Yes, you are. You are driving.
You're better. That trunk's got a hell of a payload.
Yeah.
I'll make it to you guys.
A fender bender could be very bad in this situation. But here is what we'll say. Number one, we're going to get started. We want to get, a suitable ending to this chapter of the adventure. But I do want to remind folks that this is a horror game and it has potentially disturbing content, potentially things like violence and death and surreal horror and clowns and snakes. So if any of those things are not your bag, when they come up, feel free to take a step away, refresh yourself and come back, or watch it later on the VOD, and that will be good. We are also using safety tools. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago, Colin? That I actually pulled an O card on Colin because you role played so well, and I was like, is Colin really falling apart, or is he acting?
Well,
he was acting.
Separate.
Oh,
it can be both. Yeah, it can be both.
So safety tools.
Very important.
That being said, let me drop some spooky music, and we'll get started. No, game music. No.
Spooky
Everyone
little
get,
tune.
everyone get the B-52s out of your system. Rock lobster.
That's you're asking me to do the impossible, but I will try.
I'm asking you to do the impossible landscapes. Deception is a right, Colin. Truth is a privilege. Innocence is a luxury. Born of the U.S. government's 1928 raid on the degenerate coastal town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts, the covert agency known as Delta Green opposes the forces of darkness with honor but without glory. Delta Green is the front line against forces that originate from somewhere outside of our universe. Sometimes Delta Green agents don't return home from these missions. Some die in the line of duty. Some are lost out there somewhere. And some do return, but they're not the same. It's August of 1995. 3 days ago, 3 days! A team of Delta Green agents was brought in to investigate a strange symbol found in the Manhattan apartment of a missing woman named Abigail Wright, a painter. What they found there was something far worse and far stranger than a symbol. An entire apartment building infected by some bizarre, inscrutable force. Some connection to art. There's a play about a king and a place called Carcosa. And after sundown, this apartment opens impossible doors into other dimensions of reality. And it wasn't long before the vector of the McAllister building had spread its madness into the minds and the lives of our agents themselves. Every lead they investigated circled back and looped to something else within the case, almost like a spider had been spinning a web built out of the past and the future. Here at the end of this part of the story, there is not much that makes sense to anyone involved, which is just how the forces behind this like things to be. But one thing is certain. Whether they survive tonight's events or not, the agents of M-Cell are going to leave this mission changed. We are standing in a bookstore in Lower Manhattan. The floors are bending and creak with steps, almost as if they've gone through some extensive water damage over the year. The ceiling is uncomfortably low, giving you a sense of claustrophobia, and the lighting here are bare bulbs that hang from wires, casting shadows all around the room. There are ponderous, impossible stacks of books and bookcases, giving it the feeling of being within a labyrinth. And we are in one clearing of this labyrinth. There is a lectern at the front of the space, and on this lectern sits a gas mask, an outdated, old-fashioned looking one. There are rows of chairs, and seated in these chairs there is a sweaty man in his 50s, balding, clutching a pork pie hat, dressed in clothing that does not suit the 1990s. There is a young girl, apparently 12, wearing a Catholic schoolgirl's uniform and clutching a large black book. The proprietor of the bookstore, a man named Robert, dressed in a mix of North African caftan wear and a tailored tweed suit, is standing in one corner of the space, smiling as he watches the proceedings. And next to him is Agent Micro at the front of the room in a long leather trench coat wielding a shotgun is Agent Mythic. Colin, what is Mythic doing with this shotgun? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Mythic. M for muted.
He's racking it because that sound is scary. And he is darting it between targets, keeping everyone at a distance. Micro, when we last left off, Micro was trying to get close and telling him to put it down, and he just keeps flicking it from person to person to make everyone back the fuck away.
Micro is understandably, I would assume, Liv, you can correct me here, but understandably a little bit alarmed. Here, nervous. The guy in the with the pork pie hat looks nervous and sweaty, but he always looks that way. The little girl and the proprietor of the bookshop do not appear to be bothered by this at all. The little girl looks at you and says, "What was it you wanted to know?"
So glad you asked. How about we all just take a seat? All of you who are currently standing, Micro, and you, Robert, sit down. Everyone sit down. And we're gonna talk this situation through because we are in the presence of the truth mask. Remember, we talked about this. So we're gonna be honest while the mask is watching all of us, okay? And we have a very special guest with us here. Introduce yourself, please, Visago, if you don't mind.
The little girl looks around and she says, I'm Emily."
She's much too modest. This is a demon. This is a demon here that we have here. Remember, Micro? Remember when we summoned the demon? Remember when we did that earlier? You and I, we did the thing together where we summoned. That's a demon. You never know what you're gonna get. This one's a small child in a dress. It's weird, but that's what happened. And you, Emily, I'll call you Emily, fine, if that's what you want. If you, Emily, you know things. You know lots of things, because you're a demon. So you're going to tell us the truth about some things, yeah? Does that sound good to you, Emily Visago?
She says, "I know things, but I have my limits. I know about events, happenings in time." And she looks at you, and there's not any malice in her eyes or insincerity. She just sort of looks at you and says, "You get one." And she holds up her book, this thick textbook that she has.
One question? Is that what you're saying?
She sort of half shrugs and nods and says, "One event."
One event.
So you're more psychic than not omnipotent.
Omniscient.
Yes, thank you. Thank
She
you.
slowly turns her head and looks at you and says, "If you like."
Professor, why don't you put the gun down and we can talk about what we want to ask?
Why don't you sit
Emily?
down? Why don't you sit down?
We could do both.
Why don't you do that first?
I get the feeling that-
Robert speaks up as Micro makes this decision and says, "Can I get anyone a glass of tea?"
I love this guy. No! What? No!
"Mr. Mosby, would you like a glass of tea?" The sweaty man says, I don't think we're allowed.
Allowed? Says who? Says you're not allowed? What do you mean you're not allowed?
Maybe
Everyone
the
looks at
person
the
with
man
the
with the
gun.
gun.
Maybe the person with the gun, Professor.
No, I'm speaking only for my. Oh, okay. Listen, I don't want tea. Does anyone else want tea? Speak up if you want tea.
Emily says, "No, thank you." Emmett
Micro?
says, "No,
No, I just want to talk.
very well." He takes out his Turkish cigarettes, lights one.
I do want one of those.
He extends it, and he extends the case to you with it open. He says, "And please, Robert was my father. Call me Bob."
That makes sense. Sure. Fuck it, Bob. All right, Bob. Thank you. Appreciate that. Could you light that for me, Bob? Kind of got my hands full.
Oh, certainly. And he takes a match out, like it's long, sort of like old style strike-on box match. Lights it for you.
Holy shit, that's good. Okay.
Emily,
Anyone else want to smoke? I don't mean to make an offer. Viewers, anyone want one of Bob's cigarettes?
It would be fine. I have plenty. No. Anyone? Nobody.
No takers.
Takes them up.
Not the child. Not the. I don't care if she's a demon. We're not giving cigarettes to the 12-year-old.
I don't have-
Okay.
I don't have much longer, she says.
Right. Okay.
So we should talk. We should talk talk and make a plan.
You, oh god, Micro's gonna try the flattery angle. You make the best plans.
You make the best plans.
So let's talk. I'll sit down, you sit down with me, and let's talk about what we're gonna do.
Okay. I think we're talking right now, Micro. We have a very rare opportunity right now to ask questions of someone who is in a position to answer them. So,
One question.
And
We
my
need to
time
decide.
is limited.
yes, I've got that. Child.
She has a little
Thank you.
watch and she looks down at her, has this like thin band watch and sort of looks at it.
Little Hello Kitty watch.
Yeah, it's got the arms.
Hello.
Same brain. Yes.
It's the 90s, babe.
Oh, it's got the little arms going.
Mhm.
Are you fucking kidding me? We went through all. I'm sorry, language, child. Okay. Ooh.
Above table, what were we gonna ask? Because I don't remember.
Oh,
Well,
you think there was
well.
a plan other than fuck a demon?
No, there was another plan.
Well. Hey, Micro, that play you love so much. That guy wrote it. Talk amongst
Oh,
yourselves.
yeah. That's my play. Make
Oh,
me.
you're a sick bastard.
I would like Robert drops his head a little bit when he says that and gives this smile. And if you all have a good humint or a psychology score, I would take that as well. If you want to repeat a roll.
Pretty bad at both, I think.
No, I only have a
Human-
human in psychology of 10.
I have a humant of 21,
Could be worse.
and I have a psychotherapy of 20.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you. You certainly don't have to.
Oh, I'll try a human. Why
I'm trying
not?
to read.
I-
Yeah,
like I've
I'll
passed
try-
one. Yeah.
I'll try. What's the worst I'm gonna do? Fail?
I got a 69.
Nice. That is a critical success by our house
Yeah.
rules.
And you got a
but
96.
That is the
what a
opposite.
pair.
It cancels
That is
it
the least
out.
interesting.
Yeah. Oh no.
Um, it's two people facing away from each other. Nobody wants that. As you,
It's not even that they're facing away. They're facing away, and they're what is it called?
It's a sexless marriage.
but they're like one's upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're strategically positioned to fart on the other's head.
Maybe that is sexy. You don't know their life. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Horror
Welcome to
game.
King Shade.
Um,
Horror game.
so Mythic, as you scan the room and you hear Emmett Mosby say, "Yeah, I'm the author of the book," and in his Jimmy Stewart whatever voice.
Played by Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah. You see Robert get this smile, look down, and the vibe that you get off him is one of pity and sort of bemusement. Like sure you did, but also doesn't feel the need to correct him.
I'm gonna store that piece of information in my back pocket. Something's going on there. But so I think I want to give Mythic gives a kind of knowing glance to Robert, having spotted that, and then looks at Micro geeking out with Emmett, and then looks back at Robert, and just smiles like idiots. Yeah. I just want to see what response he gets from Robert, but showing that kind of like, I know what you're thinking. He doesn't really know what he's thinking, but I know what you're up to.
He makes eye contact with you and then smiles a smile with like these gap-toothed yellow teeth.
What's Micro doing?
What's Micro doing?
I think Micro is fiddling with the copy of The King in Yellow that she has and is trying so hard to focus back on this situation and what's going on, because we are going to fucking waste this demon. But like, she can't help but look at him and just at Mosby and just, so you wrote this play?
Yeah. I'm the original author. I got the idea. Is it all right if we? He looks up at Mythic. Is it all right if we make small talk?
Oh, I encourage it. Please, by all means.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Yes. A while ago, I wrote the King in Yellow, and I was inspired by some writings that I came across in my work, but the content is entirely mine.
What were
Hey,
the
Mosby,
ratings?
in fact, why don't you move closer to Leanne? Why don't you come over here? Come together.
Oh, all right. And he sort of stands up and adjusts.
Great.
his
Yeah, no,
pants.
carry on. Yeah.
Goes over and starts talking to her. He says, it was a while ago. It was so long that gosh, I'm not even sure I remember how long it was, but I worked for the government. And,
I work for the government.
Oh, really? Were you in the war?
No.
Oh, I was. Mostly because I spoke German so well, and I could translate a lot of the things that we took back.
Oh, is that where you got the inspiration from?
Well, yes. It in some senses it was a translation, but it's my play. I wrote it.
It's a translation?
Yeah, I shouldn't say that much, but if you'd like to talk about the text itself, I'd be happy to.
What's it a translation of? If there's more I need to know.
I don't know. I can't really tell you where I got my source material, but it was something we picked up from the Krauts. I had to translate it from French.
From French.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Emily once again looks at her watch.
Yeah, I wanted to do a conversation concurrent with
Oh, I love that.
I'm purposely distracting Micro so that I can have a conversation with Emily on the side. Love you too, babe. But I don't want to disrupt this conversation. But if there's more to this, please carry on.
Let's jump over to that one with Mythic. She's asking you for an event in time.
An event.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me for an event? I'm not sure I understand
Yes. She said she holds up her book, and sort of it's a thick. It's obviously a textbook. You've seen a lot of textbooks,
that. Oh, yeah.
and this is obviously meant for that. But if you look at it, let me really quick get the title of it. You can see the title, and the title of this book is called "Of Human Need."
Oh.
And she says, an event. Something that has or will happen.
As or will. As or will. He's listening with like one ear to the conversation that Micro and Emmett are having. Because there's something there. Translated French.
We can go back to that other conversation while you sort of
Yeah, I
ponder.
want to listen.
Mm.
So, which war was it?
What do you mean?
Well, there's lots of wars.
Well, I suppose there have been. Well, you know, the Nazis.
That's what I thought.
Did you say Nazi?
He did say Nazis.
Oh, okay. Nazgul!
Okay.
We recovered it. We found it in. Oh gosh, I don't even remember. One of their hideouts or holdouts or something like that. And
They collected a lot of strange artifacts, didn't they?
oh, yeah, I suppose. But I saw my fair share of strange artifacts. You know, working for the organization.
Which organization?
We're not allowed to talk about it. Probably
We're not,
better
are
if you
we?
He gives you a knowing smile.
That was
Do
Jimmy
you-
Stewart.
No. A Carter? Or Burbach?
This is a great question. Let me check.
Ooh, good one. Good poll.
Thank you.
Uh,
She takes notes, folks. She takes
she
notes.
sure does. She thinks about it for a second. He thinks about it for a second and says,
No, she thinks about it. Doc thinks about it.
I need to find out. So that means we're gonna go back to Mythic while I look up the answer to that question.
I think Burbach. Oh, Burbach and the other guy that were killed, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, in the
Eric
50s.
Carter, yeah, Burbach and Carter.
Oh, that would be okay. I was gonna say that is around the same time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a long time, hasn't it? This.
He says in response,
Oh,
I have an
okay.
answer to you. He says,
Oh, please.
he says, no. Was he? Were they part of the company?
Yes.
No, I'm not sure. No, I left, and he looks around and like scans the room, and he goes, I left Delta Green in the early 50s. I went abroad.
I didn't know leaving was really something we could do.
Oh, sure. You hop on a ship. Well, I went to the continent and then to court. And he sort of like pauses for a moment.
Where?
Just a spring vacation to the court.
Which court?
Strange. I don't remember, but there was a There was a ball. There was a party and people dancing.
Did they speak German or French?
Oh. Suppose I didn't
Because you
even
said
think
you
about
went
it.
to. Because you said you went to the war. Objection! You said you went to the war
Yeah.
because you could speak German so well, but you.
Oh yes, I
translated
speak
these
German and
words
French.
from French. Okay.
Yes, but no, at the court they didn't speak either of those. Well, not English either, but I understood what they were saying. Some
Wait,
other language.
and you went to the court in the 50s.
Yes, October of '51.
And by continent, do you mean the European continent or the
Yeah, what other continent would it mean? He seems to think this is a normal turn of phrase.
Okay.
To say the continent and indicate mainland Europe.
Interesting. Okay.
White people shit.
White people 1950s shit.
Yeah. Not that I would know anything about that shit. I'm so fucking confused. Okay.
Anyway, I went to Europe and went to the court. Which I had such a good time, I suppose I never came home.
Never came home.
No,
Hmm.
went back to the States. No.
So where are we right now?
Figure it's a bookshop. Could be part of the hotel.
The hotel in.
Broad Albert.
Broad.
Oh,
I
what
think
a
I broke
time
Liv.
to live
I broke
freeze.
Liv. Let's go
But
over
what
to
a
Mythic.
great face to freeze
What a
on,
great
though.
freeze face from Liv. This girl
Amazing.
looks at her book, looks at her watch.
Yeah, I know. You don't have a lot of time. You don't have a lot of time. I get it.
So sorry. So
Oh,
sorry.
that's
Oh, there you are.
We jumped over to Mythic, but yeah, he says the hotel Broad Albin. He figures, or maybe somewhere else, or maybe somewhere else entirely. Maybe all those places.
Hmm.
This guy's correct.
What the fuck? I
Mhm.
I pulled on string and now I have another knot. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
It does seem to go that way,
Welcome to
doesn't it?
Impossible Landscapes.
Let's get back to Mythic.
I know.
Mhm.
We don't have you for lunch. Listen, time is fucked. You're asking me to ask you about an event, and all events are happening on top of one another in a big shit sandwich of events. So asking about one particular thing is kind of difficult. But if if pressed, I suppose I would say, and he has this like moment of clarity where he has his like Columbo moment. He's just like, wait, just one thing.
Mhm.
The Yellow King. It's been around a long time. Seems to be. Everyone who reads it becomes obsessed with it. It's been translated from French into English. That guy didn't write it.
She looks over at Mosby slowly, looks back at you. Doesn't really give an answer, but doesn't contradict you either.
I thought so. I'm not going to ask you who did because you're asking me about events, but how about you tell me or show me when it was first written down?
She holds up the textbook and looks at it and looks at you and says, "A sandwich." Everything on top of it, each other. She flips it open and hands it to you. And there, as you
This is what finally makes him put the shotgun down, by the way. He rests it down, puts the butt on the ground, and puts his hand on the barrel, then takes the book with one hand.
Excellent. She opens it up to a page and she hands it over to you. And there's a heading. It does look like a school textbook, right? So there's like some illustrations, and what you see is an illustration of France in the late 1800s. And the heading at the top of the page is Le Roi en Jaune. Le Roi en Jaune, which means the king in yellow. And there you read. And it says that...
Français?
No, it's in English. But apparently this was the title of the play. Le Roi en Jaune. And my French is awful, sorry.
Okay.
But apparently in the spring of 1895, you take all this in rather rapidly. There was a small black book, the origins of which nobody knows. It started being passed around Paris from artist to artist. And it was infecting its readers with melancholy and madness and eventually death. It says further down that it's thought that the origins of this book were in a collection of tarot cards, and there was a woman in France doing these readings with a 78 card tarot deck called Le Tarot de l'Empereur Jean, the Yellow Emperor Tarot. And it was in England in the early 1600s by these reports. And then somehow, unrecorded by history, it morphed into this play, eventually making its way back to France and being circulated among the artistic community there. Man, I have a really great tarot card from that deck that I'll show you later. Already. But around October of 1894, this book, Le Roi en Jaune, turned up in bookshops across Paris. And it wasn't until May of 1895 that a series of murders, suicides, and disappearances related to the people who have read it began. The numbers somewhere in the 200s. And as you get to the end of the page, she closes the book, picks it up, and says, "My work here is done. My mom is coming to pick me up," and turns to leave.
Who's your...
She's
Can
just
you answer
walking
who's-
towards the exit.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Robert walks forward and sits next to you so you're not alone.
Hi, Robert.
Hello, Dr. McDonald. Did you
You
get
seem
the
pretty-
answer you are looking for?
I did. Yes. Thank you. That answers a lot of questions. Actually, I'm quite pleased with the result. Quick question, Robert. You keep a pretty clean shop. Do you mind if I get blood on your floor?
No, this is not a problem. We have a
Okay.
very good, how do you say, way of keeping things tidy.
Great. I'll be just a moment then. And he's going to stand up, rack the shotgun, and shoot Emmett.
Okay. So, Micro, you are in the middle of a conversation with Emmett Mosby, and he's telling you about World War II and this file they got from the Nazis and how he translated, but really he wrote it. And wrote this book. And in the middle of a sentence, Mythic stands up, takes a shotgun, and fires a shot. Let's make a firearms roll, Mythic, to see how you do. Emmett's not expecting this. He won't dodge or anything like that.
And fumble.
Whoa.
A fumble?
I got a 44.
With me right next to this man? Are you fucking kidding me?
With a shotgun.
Worm.
Roll some damage for me.
Do I have a hero point?
Yes, you do have a hero point.
Colin, if you
Oh,
kill
yeah.
me on accident, I swear
I would be mad at myself if I killed you on accident. I would like to use a hero point.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, God. Okay, still a failure, but not a fumble.
Your shot goes wide and hits the space between Emmett and Micro. So close that both of them stand up in alarm.
Back away from the man, Micro. This man is dangerous.
Dangerous!
You almost
you
shot us!
almost shot me!
Yeah, sorry about that. I was actually trying to shoot you, not her. Micro, back away. I need to kill this man.
What are you talking about?
No! And he turns and he runs away. He makes for one of the places.
Okay, gonna try to
One
shoot
of
him
the
back.
Technotherm?
What do you call them? They're not hallways. They're aisles.
Aisles.
Yes.
Aisles in the
Between the
stacks.
stacks.
Between the stacks, into the bookshelves, he goes. What do
I
you
would
do?
like to try to shoot him in the back while he runs.
Okay. I'm gonna say that he has enough to get a good distance away from you and rounds a corner. Do you want to pursue?
No. I really just wanted to get him away from Micro more than anything.
Okay.
But...
All right. Well, mission
And
accomplished there.
And partially, there was a little bit of wanted to shoot him just to see what would happen.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Can tell you what would happen if you hit Micro by accident.
I don't have to be a scientist to guess.
Mm-mm.
Oh, good, he's gone.
Robert does not react to this, and sort of looks around, and he says, "It seems as though your audience has gone."
Yeah, I'm used to it. Sorry about that, Micro.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Sorry. I should have explained. That man translated a very, very dangerous occult artifact that stretches back centuries that has infected your brain. Probably a bit of mine too, because I did read it as well. So I was going to kill him to keep him away from you so that it doesn't get any worse, because I don't want to see that happen to you. Nor me. You know, really, you're kind of a liability to me and you if you're like that. But I missed because I'm shitty with guns.
I think that Micro, I need a sanity check from you here.
Yeah,
that's fair. Oh, but that's a first for me. The first time I've induced a sanity check.
You force someone to roll a sanity check. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
How'd you do?
I got a success. 14 out of
Wow.
68.
Okay.
You're so sane.
You are not going to. You lose 1 point of sanity
Mm-hmm.
because that was so close.
Yeah, I almost
can
got
help it.
shot. Like
You almost got shot, but then also, there's another thing on top of this, which is that you are getting the impression that he is talking about your book.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because I think Micro goes from like clutching the book as like a security blanket and actually like moves it behind her back.
All right. So you take the book and you put it behind your back, and I think that your urge in this moment is that you need to get this book somewhere safe,
I do.
away from Mythic.
Yeah, I do.
I get what you're going through, I really do, because I'm feeling a bit of the tug of it myself. I think it's really only because my brain has just been bent a few more times and cracked than yours that I'm kind of withstanding it, but you are clearly in it deep, let me tell you something. So, we gotta get that thing away from you, Leanne. That stuff will kill you, as my dad used to say when I was smoking cigarettes in the garage.
You still smoke cigarettes. You just smoked a cigarette. You're smoking a cigarette right now.
Look, I know it'll kill me. I just don't care. But I don't want that to happen to you. So really, how about you take that book and you put it down on the chair right here, and I'll just shoot it.
No.
I can just blow it into bits.
No.
Why not? Why can you maybe I don't. Here's an idea, Leon. How about you articulate to me why you don't want me to destroy that book?
I haven't read it.
Yes, you have.
No, not all of it.
Okay, you've read most of it, but
Not all of it.
okay, let's try this. What would you say if I was holding a shotgun to your face and he racks the shotgun again?
I do
You still
flinch, but
really-
I flinch, but I keep the book behind my back.
And I think that we have to leave it there for a moment
Yeah.
with Mythic holding Micro at gunpoint and Micro protecting the book behind her back. And we're going to go back to the McAllister Gold.
Boy, howdy.
Actually, first we're going to take this brief foray into the Holland Tunnel, where Martini is sitting in the driver's seat of Michael's car.
No, one handed on the wheel.
Yeah, Martini, describe it. Castle, what's Martini listening to? What's the vibe? It's rush hour traffic, which it always is in Manhattan, but it's like you're waiting,
Yeah.
like for
so,
cars to inch slowly forward.
I guess because it's Michael's car, I gotta look through all the CDs that he has, maybe, and see what.
Sweet.
cassette-
Turk, I need your help here.
CDs, I feel like
It's
They're-
1995.
I know.
This
and
is the biggest joke we've told this season. I'm so excited.
What does
I
Michael
feel
listen
like
to?
I feel like there is a section of like very clearly religious holiday, ethnic groups, but
Aaron
I
there's
Coppola
stay
also-
far away from those.
there's also a lot of things that like teens would be listening to right now that he's very clearly used. Yeah,
TLC.
absolutely.
For
Yeah.
sure. He has Crazy Sexy Cool on cassette.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
This
pretty
music
much.
has never been more appropriate.
Also, I'd probably say they'd be like addressed. Some of them would have notes like to Mr. Hatfield from so and so. Like, have a great summer. Thanks for everything.
Not
And
the hags.
Hags, yeah, I got hags.
and I think that
Mr.
we like just get this. It's a very short scene because she's still making her way back. But I think we see Martini like look at one of those notes,
Mhm.
and then realize the car in front of her is moving, and just go back to moving. And because I'm a kind and benevolent handler, I won't make you roll sanity for Michael's taste in music.
Yeah, but Michael's
for the religious holiday stuff. You
I
don't
throw
have
like
Does someone in the
The
Holland
worst
Tunnel lean
the one that I
out of their
hate
best
most.
friend's ride and holler at McChaney?
uh-huh.
Good.
And it's the king in yellow. No. So-
Not the King in Yellow is not a scrub. How absolutely dare you?
And now, as we focus in on that Mr. Hatfield line on the note, we go back to a close-up of Michael's face as he is sort of paused in wait, face to face with Michelle Van Fitz. And if you remember last time, Michelle, an inhabitant of this apartment, was different than the last time. She's always been an asshole. Okay, but now she seems completely unhinged. And as Michael sort of is pushing for her to leave the building, her hand goes into her pocket. And it looks like she's going to pull something out. Michael, what do you do?
he's taken a step back and he's just given her like a way out. If she seems like he's gonna he's gonna pull first. He's
He's
seen
gonna
enough
pull first.
Yeah, he's gonna clear leather and do all the
Well, I'll tell you, I looked it up ahead of time. Your dex is better. So you'd be able to pull your gun first, but she is going to take her hand out of her pocket at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And when she does, she has something that fits in the palm of her hand. It's not a gun. Would you like to see if you can alertness what it is?
Yeah, that'd be really nice. So I don't. Oh boy.
This is a very important alertness check. I don't know how many hero points.
56 out of 71. I have great alertness. I'm shit at searching though.
I'll tell you this. It is metal. It is cylindrical. But the way her hand is wrapped around it, you're not exactly sure. It could be one of several things. It could be an asthma inhaler. It could be a pack of lifesavers in foil. It could be a detonator for a bomb. You don't know. But it is your action if you want to do something.
I think in any other situation, there'd be a lot of trigger discipline. You know, he'd obviously not be right at the door and a perfect situation.
Yeah.
But this is clearly isn't. And I think Michael's made his peace with what is going to have to transpire for most of these people one way or another. And at this point, Michelle Van Fitz is a name that can land on either side of the spreadsheet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than risk something going wrong, I think he's going to take a shot. Center a mass.
So, you draw your gun. You point it at the center of her body. She is going to attempt to dodge here. So the way combat rolls, we haven't done a lot of combat this season. We're doing competing rolls. And for head-to-head rolls like this, whoever is higher while succeeding would win. Okay? So I'm going to roll mine here on my messy desk.
I just want to say that while this is, in a way, cold-blooded murder, if you were going to kill anyone, she sucks.
I know. Like, hey, it's me,
I mean,
Turk.
listen,
I wouldn't do this. This
a more
is bad.
justified murder than what's happening to the others.
That's undeniably true.
Thank you.
Do I have a 20% bonus from shooting at point blank range, basically, up to 3 meters away?
Yeah, I will say that. Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. So roll me your firearms, and I will roll for her.
48 is a success.
Okay. What is your target?
So the target is 60 with a modifier plus 20.
Okay. I'll tell you that she is going to make a dex times 5 to try to move out of the way here. And her dex is... Oh, where did it go? I just had it. There it is. Oh, there it is. Her dex is 12, so that is a 60. And she rolled a 10. But yours is higher as a success. So, your shot lands. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Pretty easy. Just a d10. That's going to be 7.
Ooh, 7. Okay.
I think that I wasn't carrying around a revolver or anything, just a medium range.
You shoot her in the stomach, and she collapses. Holding it. She's still conscious, but she is just screaming and sort of moaning in pain. You see the item drop from her hand, and it appears to be a canister of mace. And She stumbles back, and for her turn, she is going to turn and try to run into the bookshelves. So she turns towards those vast stacks of books in her apartment that aren't there during daylight hours,
Mm-hmm.
and tries to run down one of those and disappears around a corner. Do you pursue?
Only so much as going into the apartment. I know what's in those bookshelves, and if I get a clear shot down that line, I'll...
Okay. Roll me a luck
Yeah.
check.
Absolutely. 28 out of 50 is a success.
Nice. Yes, you see her just as she is, like 20 meters away from you.
Perfect.
She's not moving very fast because she's been shot in the stomach, but she is
Mhm.
also not like she cried out in pain, but now she's just laughing as she runs down these stacks, the end of which are shrouded in darkness. You can't see where they go from there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take another shot at her?
I'd love to.
Okay, go for it, man.
So,
She won't dodge this time because she has her back to you. But you don't get that plus 20.
No! 75 out of 60.
Oh, yeah, you miss and it goes wide. Do you want to use a hero point? I think we have one more in the hopper.
I want to pull the group. Is Michelle Van Fitz worth it?
End her.
All right, yeah, no, let's go for it.
Okay.
9 out of 60, that's going to be a success.
Okay, roll damage for me.
Okay.
You got lethality on that too? Is that-
Not on this caliber.
Okay.
It's just damage.
All right.
But there's going to be 7 more damage, because, damn.
Nice. You take one last shot and pop, and you hit her in the back of the head, and you watch as she falls forward and lays there unmoving.
That's simply going to have to be good enough. At this point, Michael isn't going to make any pretenses about what his job is to do here. I think he is done distributing the literature of people's last rites effectively, and he's going to be just waiting in the mailroom, not reholstering his pistol, but rather keeping it in his hand in his coat.
Okay. So you exit her apartment,
Close the door.
close the door, and you head to the mailroom. And just then is when Martini pulls up. Martini, make me an alertness check. And Michael, I would have a sanity check here if you weren't already.
I'm adapted to violence.
Adapted to violence.
I take nothing from harming the innocent.
Oh, Cassie,
I'm
you're
not
quiet.
alert.
What'd you
I
get? Oh.
I got a 91 out
Okay.
of 67.
All right. So you pull up and you're getting out of your car, and just as you turn to go up the steps, you see Michael enter the mailroom. Michael, how are you looking?
Shockingly more rigid somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and very clearly just registering the vehicle. I want to say almost Terminator-esque. Yeah, that's my car, that is my person, and then turning back and very clearly looking back into the building. But no other movement. There's no wave or any sort of formality there. It's robot. Some director might see him and be inspired for the Terminator.
Martini, Michael is standing there, stoic.
Martini's gonna stand there as well, kind of just look around, see what's going on, but she doesn't know, so she's
Mhm.
run
If-
up,
You don't see anything else.
gonna run up towards goal
Do you have it?
in a holster on her hip.
Martini, do you have it?
It's everything you needed, you want, you need. Okay.
All right, let's get it. I've marked locations.
As you're having this conversation in the doorway, you see a form emerge from the outer basement door. And it's Thomas Manuel, the painter.
Gun is out of pocket. Gun is out of pocket, and hand is behind back. Very clear to Martini.
Mhm.
Mine's
He
on
looks
my-
up and he says, "What was that? The noise."
What noise? Have you been hearing things?
It was a violent noise. It was the noise of violence. Who was that?
Violent noise. You're in a basement. You sure it
I'm trying
wasn't
to
radio?
paint.
Then paint.
Oh.
Or
like-
leave.
He just sort of like stares back at you. Do you want to make me a check here? To boss him around? A boss around check?
We could maybe do a.
Persuade or
Persuasion check.
I guess I could give it a shot. I'm actually not bad at persuade. A 59 out of 41 is going to be a failure, though.
okay.
An 85.
Oh.
Oh, I'm not rolling well.
He pauses. Looks like he considers it. And then slowly starts walking up that lower stoop, up those stairs, up to the street level.
Mhm.
And now he is standing at the bottom of the stoop. And Martini is between you and him. And he's got something in his hand.
What you got over there?
Tools.
Like painting tools?
Yes.
Cool.
You do realize your apartment's being foreclosed on.
Okay.
You're going to need to leave by tomorrow. Make wise to pack your things and go now.
Do you have anywhere to go?
He smiles this knowing, malicious smile. And he says, "Yeah, I have a place to go." And he charges at Martini.
Oh,
And he's gonna try to stab at you. Martini, what's your dex?
my dex.
Yeah.
10?
Okay. Michael, you have a chance for an action here.
I would like to.
'Cause your
with
dex is the highest here of the three of them.
with the potential, if it's possible, with the potential of putting myself in a dangerous position to do so, try and pop another shot off really quick as he's charging in. Like getting Martini out of the way with one hand and trying to push, pump out a shot with the other.
Okay.
So just a firearms check?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
And you can keep in mind, you are
Pretty-
on the street here.
Yeah. Yep. And this whole building's about to blow up if we do things right. So 33 is going to be a
critical
critical success.
Oh, it was a critical success. Thank God.
Yeah.
You see him make the move, right? The step to come charging, and he pulls an X-Acto knife out of his pocket and starts running up these steps. And I think in one smooth motion, Michael puts the gun. Where do you do it? Tell me how you do it.
So as he begins charging, and Martini is like obviously probably going for her own gun, Michael is going to like step aside, move her like shoulder back so he can step up and extend and just put one right in the nose.
Okay, roll damage.
Yeah, so this will be doubled with a critical.
Yeah, that's a crit.
Oh, only 4.
So 4 total.
4 total. Yeah.
Yeah, you aim for his face. You get a clean shot, but you graze his cheek instead. And he keeps on coming. He takes the X-Acto knife and he is going to try to plunge it into Martini.
Oh. At
Oh.
this point,
You
I-
can, Martini, make a dodge, or there's certain things you can do within hand-to-hand combat, and that's what this is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely, if I can't grab my gun and point it at him fast enough, I'll try to just whack his arm out of the
Yeah,
way.
you can.
Dodge or fight back. So
Right.
dodging. Yeah, go for it.
if you're going hand-to-hand combat with this guy, you can attack him with a weapon that you have on hand, as like it's a defense roll. You can it will be your action for a turn, but basically it would, if you dodge, it would oppose his hand-to-hand combat and let you run away, or you can attack, and it won't protect yourself against anything ranged, but if you attack and you succeed in a head-to-head check, you will hurt him with whatever you want to do, or unarmed, rather than him hurting you. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I think then I will kind of try to dodge out of the way first.
Okay, roll me a dodge check, and I'm gonna see if he succeeds here. Okay.
Oh, 13 out of 30. Success.
Okay, and he rolled a 9. And so he comes at you with his X-Acto knife, but you are able to like push out of the way because your roll was higher as a success. And if you want to move away from him, you can. But basically, that's his turn. That's your turn. Michael, what do you do?
Just like looking at my melee weapons options here. I'd like to try and restrain him if possible. At this point, he's
That would
close
be a
enough.
pin action.
Yeah.
So that is a
Melee weaponry or
pin is
to mobilize target unarmed using unarmed combat. Oh, I do have unarmed combat. Good, there it is.
So go ahead and roll me an unarmed combat. He is going to try to he's going to try to dodge this using his action for the turn.
Hey, can I use that new hero point to avoid 100 on a fumble?
No,
That's fair.
it's 100, man.
That's fair.
It's 100. But yeah, I mean, he succeeds anyway on his dodge. So he turns and he pushes you down the stairs. I'm going to say with that fumble, you slip and fall. You are going to land hard, but you only take 1 point of damage as you twist your knee going down.
Okay.
He, in turn, turns to you, Martini, but you have an action here. He's used his action to dodge out of the way. So you can attack him if you want, or try to restrain him, or unarmed punch him in the throat. What are you going to do?
I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. She's gonna try to just karate chop him in the throat.
Gonna chop him in the throat? Okay, roll me an unarmed attack. He can't dodge this. He's already used his action. Unarmed combat.
Oh no!
It's a failure. I think there's one. Is there one more hero point?
One more hero point we just got. So,
would you like to use that?
Yeah.
All right, re-roll that thing. Oh, very good. So you just right to the throat, and you see him gasping for breath. Roll me damage for that.
And that is unarmed.
Yeah. Usually it is 1d4, and then yeah.
4.
4. Okay. That's enough to stun him with that chop to the throat. So he's basically clutching at his throat and doubled over. Michael, you are on the ground at the bottom of these stairs, a little bit in pain, but he is still standing. He is just sort of clutching at where Martini just punched him.
I can start making my way up.
You okay?
I'll live. Finish it.
All right.
Incapacitate. Please.
Can I?
He doesn't have a turn. So, Michael, do you have an action you want to perform? You're gonna let.
I'd
Turk
like
take
to make my way up the fucking stairs.
it. Okay. Casa, does Martini draw and shoot? Does she?
Can I use his?
Restrain
He
him?
said he had like a box cutter, right? Can I
He had an
use it?
X-Acto knife. Yeah.
Just is he holding his hit by his neck?
He dropped it. It's on the ground.
Oh, but that's picking it up and then also hitting.
You can do that as an action.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah. If you want to stab him, go ahead. And I'm also going to say you get plus 20 for this just because he's stunned.
I'm gonna slash his throat.
All right. Roll me hand-to-hand melee attack.
If the target is totally unaware, bound, or asleep, it's an automatic success.
But he's
And
not.
Oh, that's right. He's just unstunned.
Wait, so do I have a modifier? Did you say? No.
This would be a skill that would be is it hand-to-hand? Is that what this is?
Melee weapons.
Melee weapon?
So melee weapons plus 20% is the modifier I think you mentioned.
It's
There we
exactly
go.
37.
Okay. I'm gonna say just for the sake of expediency, you just where do you plant it on him that kills him?
I just slash it across his throat.
Across his throat, and so I think just in one fluid motion, you bring one hand up and knock his hands away from his throat, and then boom, and put him down Martini style, and he collapses to the ground. The two of you, with your training and your knowledge, know that you just fired a gun on a busy city street at 9 p.m. in the evening, and you are still outdoors, and you'd better get him inside.
He'll motion for you to start dragging the body with his head, and he'll make his way out to the car to grab the bag of party favors.
I would add that I remember reading a newspaper article once that said that at night the sidewalks roll up and the cops don't come in this neighborhood. Just saying.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
Mythic's
canonical.
voice in the background reminding us of that little tidbit.
And so you drag him back inside. We go back to the bookstore, where Mythic is standing with his shotgun pointed at Micro. Micro is standing with the copy of The King in Yellow behind their back. And Robert, Bob to his friends, is sitting casually and smoking a cigarette.
Is it worth your life? Is it worth your life, Micro? That book?
How would you feel if somebody destroyed all of your books?
Relieved, frankly. I wouldn't have to do another fucking book signing. Give me the book.
No.
Why not?
It's not. It's mine.
Is it? I think
Yes!
you just got it from this store, didn't you?
Robert, isn't it mine?
It is her possession now, and she is its possession.
See?
Did you catch that last part? Did you catch that last part? Were you listening to what
it's
Bob
meant
just
to be
said?
mine! That's what he means! It's meant to be mine and you can't have it!
I really don't want to do this. But you're really...
Perhaps you would
proving my point.
feel better if you maybe, I don't know, put on the mask of truth.
Go on, Mythic, put it on.
Fuck it. Fine. Sure. I'll put on the fucking gas mask. Why not? Why the fuck not? Nothing matters anymore. Sure, he takes his glasses off and...
When he turns his back to put on the mask, I run.
So, a bunch of things are going to happen at once, and then we're going to go to a break.
Uh-huh.
Here's what happens. Mythic goes back to the lectern. And if this were a hat, it wouldn't be a problem, because you just go, and it's on. But this thing has straps. It has buckles, you know? And so Mythic turns around to get it. We see Micro run away, and Mythic slides this mask over his face. And as his eyes without glasses adjust, he realizes that on the inside of each glass plating over the eyes, there's a symbol etched into the glass.
Oh no.
And when we come back from break, Mythic is going to make a check to prevent helplessness from seeing the yellow sign.
Oh.
So we're gonna take a break, and things are gonna get hairy and explosive when we get back. Tell a friend and come back and join us for however this thing is going to end. See you soon. Welcome back. We're back with the finale of season 1 of Impossible Landscapes with our agents. Casa is hugging people. I hope
Celebrating the
I hope
finale.
you tuned in for hug content, because that's all we got. Also,
Big
violence
old
content.
hugs. Nobody's getting shot.
Mhm.
It's just a good time.
Here at Lost Caravan, it's either hugs or guns. It's a new slogan. Hope you can use that for free. That one's free. We're in the bookshop in Manhattan, the unnamed bookshop run by Bob Robert. And Agent Mythic and Agent Micro are at odds. When Mythic went to put on this gas mask, Micro ducked into the stacks, into the shelves of this bookshop to run away. When Mythic turned around with the gas mask on, he opened his eyes and he realizes that this gas mask has the yellow sign etched into the glass plating over each eye. Mythic, I need you to make me a very important sanity roll.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sounds fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sane. You don't even know how sane I am. You know exactly how sane I am. You can see my character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. Mythic sanity currently sits at a solid 27, so my odds of getting under this are pretty high.
That's martini levels of sanity.
Yeah, motherfucker is cracked. So, wish me luck, fam. Oh my god, I passed with
I'm
a
going to spend a
5.
villain point to make you re-roll that.
Ah,
What? You sick motherfucker! Get some.
how dare you! How dare you! A pox in your house!
Whoa.
I love you, a pox in your house!
No.
Come on. Everybody here wants to see what happens when Mythic puts on the crazy mask.
Yeah!
Everyone said to me when I made him
No
reroll a
mask.
die.
He only has
Why
one
though?
and it is crazy.
That's
Yeah,
an
okay,
83.
you motherfucker.
Oh,
83. is
completely on the
failure.
other
So,
side.
we as the audience see Micro disappear into the stacks. What Mythic sees when he turns around is Micro with a gun drawn pointed at him. So Mythic, being aware of his actions but not in control, fires around into her and she falls to the ground dead. He hears footsteps to his left. Martini runs in, aiming her gun at him. He turns and fires, and then proceeds to walk into the stacks, waiting because he knows that Michael is out there. Might not like him, but goddammit, he respects him. Michael comes around the corner. Mythic's first shotgun shot goes wide, sending book fragments flying everywhere. Michael fires back, his rosary clutched in one hand. Mythic fires again and blows Michael's head into tiny fragments, blood, brain matter going everywhere.
I
Mythic,
did it! I won the Delta Green!
you take 3 points of sanity damage from helplessness and 3 points from violence as you see this play out in front of you.
6 points of sanity damage?
Total, yes. Unless you have anything that prevents helplessness loss or violence loss.
No. But I have fallen below my breaking point again.
And because this is more than 5 points in one turn, you take temporary insanity, which is sort of represented in this thing here. But what happens is, Mythic, as you see all these things happen, In your mind, you're not willing them to happen, you're just watching them occur. You killing your teammates. Or it could have been anyone. It could have been Amelia running out from the stacks. It could have been your ex-wife. But when you pull the mask off, you're at the lectern again. And Robert is sitting in the front row with his long legs crossed lazily and takes a drag off his cigarette and says, "Have you seen the yellow sign?" And you have. And everyone should see it.
Everyone should see it.
Everyone should see that yellow sign. In
Everyone
fact,
should see it.
you and Micro now have this compulsion. Micro, we haven't played with this much, but every day you need to put that sign somewhere. You need to draw it in kids' coloring book. You need to spray it with spray paint on an alley wall. You need to publish it and send it to your students as class notes in a PowerPoint presentation. And if you don't do that, you'll have trouble sleeping every night.
Okay. I have fallen below my breaking point again, which means I acquire a new disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Would you like
Turk.
to...
Yeah, I have the page.
Yeah, I figured you did.
This is both
Um,
helplessness and violence.
Ooh,
So
okay.
either one would be option.
Addiction, depression, intermittent explosive disorder, agoraphobia,
Yeah.
paranoia, PTSD, sleep disorder, totemic compulsion, addiction, anxiety disorder, conversion disorder, dissociative identity disorder, depression. Yeah. There you go.
Not
And-
this.
As this sets in and you regain control of your faculties, Robert takes a closer look at you and says, "Wait a minute. Who are you?"
Well, he has a new disorder, so that just got to be a complicated question. Yes, Turk?
No, you do it. Starts with one, gets more worse.
Oh, it gets worse as it goes on. We see, like, our camera, like, zooms in on Mythic's eyes, and we see the yellow sign reflected, like, in his corneas. And then we travel into the blacks of his eyes and into darkness where we see, looking back at us, another set of eyes. And there is, in his brain space, there is this version of him that's wearing the gas mask. And the two Dexters are like standing face to face, one otherwise the same, but one wearing the gas mask and one without the gas mask. And the Dexter with the gas mask says, "Too late for you. But maybe you can save the others." And Dexter nods. Maybe it can be contained. And he looks to Bob.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know who I am anymore.
Hmm.
Kind of freeing when you think about
Yes.
it.
Very much so.
You called me Professor when I came in. Dr. McDonald, that doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right anymore. I have no idea. Bob, I don't know. I don't know who I am
Well,
anymore.
may I suggest that the key maybe patience. And he stands up slowly and walks over to you, and it's all very friendly. And he says, "You know, every one of us is, how does the saying go? Out there looking for our bottle, yes? In the labyrinth. And some people, they push through. They are able to escape whatever is out there." And he gestures towards where you think the entrance might have been once. He says, "Out there, you can escape. But here he sort of looks around the bookstore and says, in places such as this, people tend to get trapped. You have people like Mr. Darabonde, or Mr. Mosby, or what is the name of the awful man with the bad hairpiece? Mark, yes? They circle the drain here forever. It is only the truly exceptional who can push through. For you," and he points at you, like, right in the chest. "For you, there is no going back. You are too late. But someone as remarkable as you, or whoever you may become, those types of people can't push through to the city by the lake."
Question for you then, Bob. My associate, Leanne, who just ran off with that book,
Yes.
is she exceptional? Can she go back? Can she push through?
Oh. Yes, I think that is a distinct possibility, but that is not up to me. She seems to contain the desire to follow after the king.
Thank you, Bob. Then, I know what I have to do then. And he puts the mask back down.
And Bob backs up and sort of adopts this posture of do whatever you need to do.
Thank you, Bob. Sorry I doubted you. You've been very helpful.
Thank you. I hope that one day the invitation comes to me.
What invitation, Bob?
To the party.
Party at the court?
Yes. The king hosts a party there every night.
I'll let you know how it goes.
And as you turn to go, he says, "Wait." And he offers you his last cigarette. It's maybe easier if you pull the mask up.
No thanks, Bob.
He turns and walks down one of the aisles.
And Mythic turns and looks down the stacks. And we can see again, like through the lenses of the gas mask, we can see the Mythic as we know him. The Dr. Dexter McDonald, almost like pounding on the inside of his eye like it's an invisible wall. Trying to stop this. But this whoever this is with the gas mask on, who just seems so much more Mythic normally is a very fidgety person. He talks very quick, he moves around a lot, talks with his hands a lot. When he speaks, he's always one of those people that doesn't sit still. He's always shifting his weight from one foot to another. And whoever this is, they are very still very upright. Shotgun is just like racked across his chest. And
I
he just
mean-
starts walking deliberately. Yes, please.
I won't tell you. This is your choice who this is. This new aspect of Dexter McDonald, but he seems pretty cool.
Oh no, you're right.
You sick motherfucker.
The city never sleeps.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Out
It's
on this,
cool.
we're out on the street in front of the bookshop, and we see Micro emerge. A little bit out of breath, clutching the book. It's dark.
Yep.
This is a still sparsely traveled street, so there's not a lot of people around. But you got out of there safely. Where does Micro go from here?
You know, it's always. There's only just so little between Michael and Mythic getting along, and Michael and Mythic not getting along. And if I tell Michael that Mythic is trying to kill me, maybe Michael will take care of my problems for me. So I'm gonna go running towards the building.
Okay. Yeah, you run back. There's a bunch of cabs out. You can wave the cab down if you want and head there. And we can jump back to the building. Michael, Martini, you guys are... What are you doing?
I think at this point, maybe if possible, Martini's dragged the body inside, and Michael's walking in with a duffel bag full of party favors for their going away party at the McAllister building. He's gonna zip open and motion towards one of the and walk over towards one of the first marks he's put down, and plant and set the first one. Kind of show Martini. I'm not sure. Michael isn't sure how experienced Martini is with explosives, so he's just gonna go through it, not slowly, but definitely like just motioning with all the bits that are in the bag, and then open it up. I've marked all the spaces we need to hit.
Try not to mess anything.
Don't let anyone stop you. This thing goes up bad, but it's going down for good.
No one ever does. No one ever does.
All right. So the two of you go out, start setting these explosives. The two remaining tenants of the building don't emerge. You don't see them. And it goes relatively smoothly, but just as you're finishing up, Michael, you go to sweep the ground floor once more, and your foot hits something, and it's the box of evidence, the cataloged evidence that you were supposed to record. And inside are, well, everything that we could see on our Roll20 screen, right? Like, you know, the script from the play, which apparently has you in it. Those weird napkin designs with the whatchamacallit, the technical drawings of the machines in them. That picture of those two people with their eyes scratched out with a weird clown hand. The boarding pass for Michael Whitwer 20 years from now. And you look down at this box of evidence. What do you do?
Hey, the green box has made itself. Michael is going to kneel down. Does it come with a top for this box, or?
There is one. It's got like a set down on top. You know, like it doesn't have like a folding flaps. It just has file box.
The
but
file
it's not
box
on it right now. It's leaning against the wall or something.
Michael's going to go down, place that on, and I assume his duffel bag's pretty empty by now, so he's going to replace one destructive element with another, and be ready at the entrance to link up with Martini.
Well, it's funny that you should say Micro, because just then a taxi pulls up in front of the McAllister building.
And Michael's he absolutely just goes like more stock rigid, like, no, that is a bad time for anyone to try and get in here.
Luckily it's just Micro who snatches her keys up and stuffs them in her pocket and then takes money out. And as we see her scramble out of the taxi, you can see that, like, with one of her keys, she's been carving the sign of the Yellow King into the upholstery of the taxi seat. That's for you, babe.
Good.
And she's gonna come out desperately, screaming for Michael. And when I crash into you, I look up at you just like truly unhinged in a way that I don't think you've seen me. Like you've seen me nervous, you've seen me scared, but like this is a different level as I cling to you, and I just say, Mythic tried to kill me. Mythic shot at me. Mythic tried to kill me.
Easy. Peace. One moment at a time. What happened at the book signing?
He pulled a gun out on everybody for no reason. He just pulled a gun out on everybody, and he tried to kill me, and he shot at this man, and there was a little girl.
If like Martini's probably behind.
Yeah.
I probably kind of can guess that she's acting. Can I do like a roll to see if
That would be humint, or psychoanalysis.
I mean, I'm not lying.
True,
No.
but it depends on
She's exaggerating. Is she playing it up a little bit?
your emotions.
Oh, yeah.
to do that.
You can roll me a persuade check to
Oh,
combat this, or we can just let Casa win or lose on it.
Oh man. I'll try to roll a persuade check. What's the worst thing I do? Fail?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay, I'm gonna. Success, 30 out of 30.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Ooh, right on the money for Casa.
Oh, but I also succeeded.
Ooh,
I got higher success.
she got higher,
Yeah,
so she
the higher
wins. Isn't that
success.
weird?
Yep.
So, Casa, she is not lying. She's playing it up a little bit, but that just could be for many reasons. Yeah, it's a little strange.
So where's Mythic now, Micro?
I left. I ran. I tricked him into putting on this mask and I ran.
This is the first you guys are hearing of a mask and a gun in Mythic's possession.
Thanks.
Were you followed? Is he on his way here now?
I don't think so.
Is he still at the book signing?
Yes, yeah. I mean, like I said, when I came to the book signing, he was at the front and he had this long coat on, and there was a gas mask like sitting on the pulpit, and he had a shotgun with him, and then he started firing at people. So then I got him to put on the mask, and I just took out of there. I just ran. I didn't look back.
Explain in the car.
Are the bombs armed?
They should be.
Well, how long is the timer on these things?
Not long, which is why the calm, solid, stern voice to
Yeah.
Can I
As you
call-
all get.
Oh.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Martini.
I mean, I feel like the whole Mythic thing is a little bit weird. So like, he has the burner still on him.
He
Or
does.
is that... Can I
Yeah.
call him?
Yeah, but save that for just a second.
yeah, walk and talk.
Yeah, because you know too that the bombs are counting down, and I need everybody present. Make me, except for Mythic, make me an alertness check. Mythic, you can make one, but I'll just make up some crazy stuff that you see.
86 out of 71 is gonna be a failure.
Everyone's failing.
Everyone's failed.
Fails across the board, baby.
Mythic
I super
fails
failed
too.
too. I'm not even there and I fail.
You are all senseless, and you all get into Michael's car. And same car. Where are you going? Safe house? Somewhere else? Off the island?
Book signings.
Back to the
No!
bookshop.
Not fair.
Sweet. You follow the directions that were on that poster. Micro is pointing here and there. You get 6 or 7 blocks away, And you start thinking, Michael, I would expect him to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's got to be any second now. And just as you're thinking that, police cars. I mean, you'll always see someone with their sirens on in Manhattan, but one after the other, all heading the direction you came from. But that doesn't make any sense. And then boom! Then you can still feel it from this many blocks away as there is a loud flash of light behind you. And everyone on the street sort of takes this tense posture. And this is just as you pull up to the side street, and the taxi driver sort of turns and looks down this quiet street and says, I'm not going down there. I'll let you off here. I mean, it's like half a block. The place gives me... That street's weird.
Were we in a taxi?
Thought we were driving Michael's car.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. So you get
No,
out.
you're good. So yeah, I got we get out. We can park a little bit of ways away though.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden, you have a taxi driver. No, you park.
Ooh. What are you doing? Why are you sitting in my lap? Who are you?
Everyone's sitting on each other's laps. You pull up to the street and get out. Park the car. And as you walk down, you go past the spot once, and then you must have missed it, so you turn back.
It's around here somewhere.
And eventually, Micro, you know exactly where it should be. But there's just two buildings intersecting there. But they're right in the middle of those two overlapping properties. There is a folded piece of paper lying on the ground.
Michael's gonna motion with his head. Martini, check it out.
She's already walking towards the piece.
Oh, jeez, like that.
What is
You
that?
lean over and you pick it up, and it has it looks like it was, it's not like a book page. It wasn't printed on like by a mass printer or something like that. It looks like it was handwritten, but the handwriting is strange. It loops and it's uneven in places. And it says the following. First, there is an actor, a character note, like a name, as if you were reading a play. And the name is Casilda. And the words on the page are as follows. Here then, let us set ourselves upon the only mission. To die when we are to die. To scream when one is to scream, as expected. To go into those darker places. And to say to the feast of reason no more. I have had my fill. And Micro, even though your thoughts are consumed by getting to a place where you can devote your attention to this book, you know that line from the second act and the second scene of The King in Yellow. And with that, we'll move forward a little bit. Casa, Martini calls Mythic's phone, and his burner that all of you have. You dial up the number, and eventually it answers, picks up, but no one talks for a minute, and so eventually you just sort of say, hello? and then you hear Mythic's voice cutting
Wow.
through.
Wow, honestly, it's amazing. Just hearing your voice. It just somehow, even though I know it's a pre-recorded message, somehow that just sets my mind at ease.
And it's Mythic's voice. It's from another time.
Something happened. I had one of those moments we talked about where like the kind of memories come back that I can't really remember, but they're there, but they're not. They're there, but they're not. They're there, but they're not. You know what I mean? That came up
I mean,
again,
at this
and
point,
I'm feeling
it like keeps going. You hear Mythic's voice, but like
and kind of feeling like I want to jump out of my own skin.
and it's
I'm going
unsettling.
to take
And eventually you
breath.
just hang up the phone
I'm going to.
and you sort of put it down.
That was weird.
I think are you with the others still?
Yeah, because I went to go pick up the paper. Yeah.
You were by yourself when you made the call.
Oh, that's true.
I'm asking you.
Well, I thought we were all going in the car.
Okay, you're still in the car. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
In that case, they hear you have this conversation and then make this face.
Mythic's not here anymore, is he?
That's what I was hoping you could tell us.
Michael, what happened? No bullshit here. Like, what happened?
I told you what happened.
What happened to Mythic? Like,
He snapped.
disappeared? Did you bring us to the wrong place? Is this...
No. There's a bookstore here. There's a bookstore.
It's
There's a bookstore
where
and it's full of really like confusing book stacks. And there was a man, Robert, only one, but Robert. And there was this. He went into a hole, and that's where the book came from.
Minecraft. How are you feeling right now?
I'm scared.
Martini's
My
gonna go up.
professor just almost killed me. I'm scared.
Martini's going up to Micro and giving her a hug.
I'll get the car. We're done here.
Is Micro holding the book? Or is it like on her body, on her person?
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna try and get it.
No.
What your reaction is to that?
No. No.
As I'm hugging you, right? I'm trying
Yeah.
to be.
And I feel you go for it, and I like jerk back.
And then she follows Michael to the car.
And Micro is left standing there on this empty street. In this narrow New York street with towering buildings all around you. Some old, some new. And you've got this book.
Could I jump in really quick? Because, I mean, my alertness is pretty high. I feel like
You
here
can see
even-
Martini's coming this way. Something happened down there.
Yeah, like there's a skirmish or something, and he's just gonna stop because he's been around the block. I feel like he's set that up. And when Martini gets close, he doesn't turn around to address her. Just is Micro compromised?
I'm big time. It's not the best.
Keep eyes on. Pull the car around. We're going for a drive. Get the gun off of her.
Yeah.
Let her keep whatever else she needs to hold on to for some degree of control. Get the gun.
Okay.
And he'll then keep walking like he had just been pausing to breathe heavily or something.
Okay. Micro, what are you doing? I mean, they're over there having this conversation. You can see them.
So, according to my sheet, I am perceptive
Mhm.
based off of my intelligence score. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that would help me at all with the situation. Of
Is it reflected in your alertness?
No.
Mm.
So I
How about, do you have anything that would help you read their body language? I know
Human?
that people aren't, human or psychology, psychoanalysis, or
the closest thing I have with a higher score is like criminology, but that's not exactly it.
They're speaking in hushed tones.
Fair.
But I think that more than that, like more than what are these people going to do? 'Cause you don't need a roll to know that. Like you could be in danger from them, maybe, but you really want to get away with this book.
I do.
That's an option too. So I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little bit farther down the way. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna start walking down the opposite direction.
Okay.
As if I'm looking for the building, but
I'm gonna say this is what was the plan here? Was Martini staying with her?
Martini was supposed to get back to Micro while Michael got the car around.
Okay. So Martini, as you get close enough to be within earshot, she says that to you. She's still a good 20 meters off.
I mean, I definitely start like jogging towards her.
Okay.
I hope to catch her
All right.
if she doesn't stop
You
running.
hear Martini's footsteps pick up a little bit, Micro.
I'm gonna walk faster.
Okay. She rounds the corner. She's gaining on you.
What do you see, my girl? Is it over there?
I think so. I'll be right back, okay?
People start
Oh, no.
coming down this side street. They're on the sidewalk, and it's starting to get crowded. Apparently, they're attracted by something that happened on the east side of the island, the west side of the island.
I start
Some
bobbing and weaving
explosion.
through the traffic.
And
Okay.
I am hot on her tail.
All right, keep it up. I think I'd like both of you to make me. I'm gonna need checks. So I'm gonna say this will be like an athletics or. Yeah, let's say athletics as you're sort of dodging and weaving through the crowd and running at the same time.
23 success.
Okay.
Oh, bit motherfucker! Ah!
That's really close because that is like about the same distance between the two. So I'm going to say you keep pace with each other.
Okay.
You keep on running. And then as you try and keep pace, Martini, you realize that all around you, like hands are starting to reach out and get closer to your clothing and then start to touch it. And you look up, and this crowd that's surrounding you, which was men, women, children, business people, families, is now all of these faceless mannequins pawing at you, trying to reach out and touch you. I'm going to need you to make me a Dex times 5.
Next time.
See if you can dodge out of the way and keep free of their grasp.
Okay. Oh, how do I do?
And we're going to need worse music than this. Here we go.
Oh, 100% fumble. No hero points, right? Oh, and I don't have my phone. Oh.
Not only do they get a hold of you, they restrain you completely. And you watch as Micro fades into the distance. And these mannequins drag you over to a dumpster and open it up and toss you inside. And you're in this dumpster and you expect to be hit by this stench of rot, but instead you realize that maybe this is like a weird futuristic recycling bin, because all around you is paper. It's like a sea of crumpled paper, like all balled up or shredded, and you pick up and you start looking at it, and it looks like scripts from a play. And you start beating faster. What do you do? Like, your heart is like racing. You can only see a bit of these things from the light because they close the lid on you.
So I can't. Can I stand up and try to just get out of there?
You try, you stand up, and you throw open the top of this garbage bin, and the crowd is gone. You're alone on this alleyway.
I'll pick up one of those. I'll take a
You
handful.
reach
of
down,
it.
you pick one up, and it's an invoice from a printing company. And then you pick up another piece of paper, and it's like a kid's drawing they made for their grandparent or something.
And it looks the same. The street just empty now.
Yeah, roll me a sanity check.
Oh. Don't got too much of that. Fumble. 44. Oh.
You're gonna take 6 points of sanity loss,
Whoa.
which means that Martini has a little bit of a breakdown and climbs out of the dumpster, and it just starts like pawing at yourself, right? Like you're trying to wipe it off. Like you've got the stench of something, those mannequins touching you, the dumpster, all on yourself, and you can't get it off. And you just feel disgusting for a moment, and then it passes. I suggest you get a disorder out of this. I'll leave it up to you what that is.
A disorder.
Yeah.
But
Page?
I'm gonna say, I mean, do you head back to Michael?
Yeah, I mean, if I can't see Micro, then yeah,
Mhm.
I can see Michael. I'll just walk.
Michael pulls the car. Michael, Martini's there. She is alone, and she looks distressed.
Rolls down the window.
Where's gone?
What do you mean gone? Like around the block?
Maybe.
Get in the car.
Okay. Open the door.
I'd like to begin circling and trying to have a micro guide where the direction of micro could have been.
Martini to direct you where it was. You go there. You look. It emerges onto another street. Typical busy New York street. People coming and going, rapid pace. A lot of there is a classic electronics store window, and a lot of the TVs inside are tuned to this news story. And when you look at the screen, you can see that it's the McAllister building as a burning pile of rubble. And you're immune to violence. Martini, are you immune to violence?
I don't think
You're responsible for several possible deaths. How about a sanity
Oh, yeah.
check from you again? Here in the final hours, Martini loses it.
Oh, 91. It's a failure.
Okay, this not as big of a deal for Martini. You do take 2 points of sanity loss.
Everything's
But
just-
you are about done with this, you feel.
What is Martini's breaking point?
I was wondering the same thing.
So it would have been 18 minus your POW at this point, because you just hit your breaking point before. So, what's your POW?
My POW is 10.
Okay, so you'd be 8. So
8 is the breaking point, or 8?
yeah, eight's your new breaking point.
You've already cracked once.
Mhm.
And you are on the verge of cracking again. Michael, you can see this. You're not great with people, but Martini's about to lose it, and you've already lost 2 agents. What do you do?
Technically, I haven't hit my breaking. I'm just running away.
No, but you are lost.
Yeah.
Mwah! Sort of. We can determine that in the off season.
I think he is going to take a U-turn out of the traffic onto what I imagine is probably, because it's New York, a less busy direction, and just begin making his way towards bridge or tunnel. And he's gonna open up his phone and hit the speed dial for his contact.
The line picks up on the other end and says, "Go."
Vector is closed. 2 agents down. Need an APB on micro.
That's Leanne Cooley. She says to you.
Leanne Cooley is to be considered compromised in possession of a hazardous item.
And McDonald, I assume, is the other one?
Lost.
What do you mean lost?
No longer capable of being found in this instant. If picked up again, considered a vector.
This is the first time you've heard her pause this long. It says, like, there's like a long pause, and she says, "Fuck."
Promise me this wasn't the end.
It wasn't the end. What the fuck are you talking about? Why wouldn't you want this to end?
Because I know it doesn't. I need continuity here. You promised me continuity and somebody to make sure that they know what they're getting into next time this happens. I don't care if you have to call me, if you have to call Martini. Somebody who is aware of what's happening needs to be there.
She says, "All I can promise is that I'll do my best. You know, stuff gets buried, gets drowned out.
That's all I can ask. We've done our part.
If I come across something, you'll be the first one to know."
Good.
And you head off for debriefing and
Yep.
years of therapy.
Oh, I'm fine. I have God.
We fade out of Michael's car heading into New Jersey. And we come back up on that same news broadcast. The reporter talks about the strange case of the McAllister building. How police were on their way there to investigate a missing cable repairman who had been gone since March. But when they arrived, and a few minutes before they arrived, the building exploded. Authorities are saying gas leak. So on and so forth. It was an artist collective, and people in the neighborhood seemed to think that the people who lived there were a little bit strange. And the news report fades out, and we fade up on a home in Wisconsin. A woman comes in the front door. Colin, what does she look like?
Oh, Susan.
Yeah. Oh, her.
Oh, her. Well, important things to note about Susan. Susan has shoulder-length hair that has. She recently got a little bit of a. You can tell it's new. She recently got a bit of a dye job. She has a kind of pretty boring kind of mousy brown hair, but then she just kind of added some like blonde streaks to it and stuff. So she's trying to add a new fresh.
They're
look.
highlights, but they're poorly done.
It's not a great job. She probably did it herself, but she's pretty
So it's
good.
in New York too. What is it in Wisconsin? This
Oh, in
guy-
Wisconsin, her stock is high,
Okay, good.
especially among the 40 and overs, which she now is. She's a few years younger than Dexter, but she's about 42. And Yeah, we see that she's wearing a kind of like bathrobe, sort of like satin bathrobe. And we can see that as she's like walking through the house, like in the background, we can see like the door to her bedroom, and Dexter's best friend is very clearly in her bed. Dr. Carr, the professor from school.
We say that when she comes in, she has a suitcase with her, as though she's been traveling. And she says, "Are there any calls for me?" And he says, "I don't know. I didn't check the machine." She goes, "What do you mean you didn't check the machine?" And they go back and forth. Oh, sorry, this should be Wisconsin. "What do you mean you didn't check the machine?" She goes over and presses the button, the flashing button on her answering machine. And it says, "One message, August 11th, 8:30 p.m., which would be like yesterday in terms of the time the team is experiencing. So earlier is all we have to say there.
There's about a minute and a half of heavy breathing. Followed. I'm not going to do a minute and a half of heavy breathing, but there's this like deep. But it sounds strange. It doesn't sound like just deep yoga breaths. It sounds like someone breathing with their face covered in something. It's heavy, and you can hear almost
Darth
like a suck.
Vader.
Yeah, that kind of sucking sound. And then finally you can hear a kind of struggle, sort of grunt, and then the breathing is more free. And then finally you hear Dexter's voice say, "Hi, Susan. I don't know how long I have. Probably not long. Leighton, I know you're there too, so if you're listening, just listen up to what I have to say here. You were right. Susan, you were right. You were right about everything. All those things that I talked to both of you, so I know you're both listening, all those things I talked to you about, all those things I said that I saw, all that supernatural stuff, all the ghosts and all the ghouls and all the demons and all the angels and all the interdimensional, it was all bullshit. I made it all up. None of it's real. None of it's real. My publisher was right to say it was fiction because I lied. I lied about all of it. None of it's true. None of it's true. And that's what I am. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I'm a guy who lies about everything. I lie to my friends. I lie to the people who love me. I lie to my coworkers. I'm full of shit. I'm completely full of shit. And so I'm gonna go away now. You're probably not gonna hear from me again. I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna. I think I'm just gonna let someone else take over. But I did send you a letter. And, like, something happens, there's a pause, and it's, like, more... When his voice returns, it's different. I did send you a letter. You should get it soon. It will explain everything. check the mailbox. Goodbye.
And we see Susan standing there looking at the answering machine, and your friend, what was his name again?
Dr. Leighton Carr.
Leighton comes out of the bedroom. Who is that? What does she say?
Nobody.
Do we get to find out what's in the letter? Or is that an artistic mystery?
I think we can find out what's in the letter.
Okay, so she goes out to the mailbox. There's a bunch of mail in there, and she's like, ah, she yells back at the house. You didn't even bring the mail in? What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. Wisconsin accent needs work. She takes out this pile of mail, starts sorting through it. She finds
It's a big, oversized manila envelope. With, like, very hastily scrawled. Clearly Mythic's handwriting, but almost looks like Mythic's handwriting if he was writing with his left hand. It's off.
takes it inside, puts it down on the kitchen table, opens it up.
I think the last thing that we see there is her sliding the paper out of the envelope and seeing the yellow sign on the top piece of paper.
And so, we have one last visit to make. Gosh, I don't even know, Liv. Where's Micro? What is she doing?
Does Micro, like, get away?
I think she gets away from Michael and Martini.
Mm-hmm.
What she does next is up to you. I mean, so here's what's going on is that you have a long period of time ahead of you.
I do.
Between now and not only our next chapter, our next season of the show, but Micro's next call from Delta Green. I think Delta Green tries to contact you. I'm guessing they want to bring you in to evaluate you. The question is, does Micro try to cover up her obsession? Because I think a part of her knows that this is going to get her in trouble. By which I mean killed.
Yeah.
Or does she just avoid them and try to live on the run? I mean, unless you can think of another option. Those are the two things that come to mind for me.
I do have a third fucked up option.
Let's have it.
Even better.
Because I have to spread the word. I
Mhm.
have to have more people know about these books, this story. And I really...
Yeah?
Because it's the 90s, so I think
It
I'm
is the
plenty.
90s.
I really want Micro to go into hiding, and maybe a year or two later, under a complete synonym, or not synonym,
Fake name.
Yeah, pseudonym.
Pseudonym, thank you.
Yeah, the first of what could be 10 individual stories start to come out, because in the original The King in Yellow there are 10 stories listed,
Yeah.
and so it's 10 books. It's a big series, and it's written for like a young audience, but also like people who are a little bit older will get it and understand. And she writes it under like J.P. Khaled, which I will explain that joke later.
You wrote an Eldritch YA novel?
We the best.
Turned the King in Yellow.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's at least what I would like for Micro. She
Yeah.
cannot live a normal life.
No.
She is completely a recluse, but that's
And-
fine.
Yeah. In fact, I would say that much of the rest of Micro's life, when she isn't working on disseminating the King in Yellow's power,
Mm-hmm.
to the wider world. The rest of her life is spent in this cat and mouse game where she will post things online or do work online regarding these books, and then they'll disappear soon afterwards, as if some sort of secret government agency was working actively to silence what she's putting out. So her books become this underground phenomena, and they all sort of they get this cult following, no pun intended.
Right, this cult
Right.
following, and
Mhm.
people are like, are these books real? Are these books not? Like, she fully follows
Yep.
in the steps of her professor.
Exactly. And that's the way Micro's story sort of peters out. Here's what I want to say. Oh, let me put on some feelings music. Hold on. What I want to say is that let's give him. Mythic is gone. By which I mean Mythic is in the space that shares a reality with the night worlds, the night floors, the bookshop, other places. Does that mean that Mythic's dead? No. Does that mean that Mythic will not ever return to this show? No. The same goes for Micro. Will we see Micro again? Maybe. But for now, they are considered to be enemies of Delta Green. And so Agent Martini and Agent Michael move through their lives, continuing their duties, their work with Delta Green. And at first glance, they made it out safely, and they're better off than Mythic and Micro. But in second look, wherever they go, and whoever they speak with, and whatever new cases they pick up, they're forever marked and changed. Just like their colleagues, just like their co-agents. From now on, wherever our agents go, they drag the power of the Yellow King in their wake. And that's where we'll end season 1 of Impossible Landscapes. Yeah, this is great. And so way back at the beginning of the series, we all talked together, and I said, hey, listen, this book, and specifically this chapter of this book, is not about winning. It's not about killing the big bad evil guy. It's not about coming out on top. It's about maybe surviving. You know, and I think we did a pretty good job of that. Half of our agents are out of commission in one way or another. The other half had to make these horrible decisions and live with them and keep them with them. We are so lucky to have Lost Caravan as a home for this show. We are planning on returning in August for season 2 with the same cast, probably, with another person, hopefully, with the same agents, probably not, maybe some, the same. But we will pick up their story 20 years later, in the year 2015 for chapter 2. And we'll see where they are from there. And who knows, maybe we'll see Mythic, and maybe we'll see where Micro are too. And the story will continue. Between now and then, we're going to do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of in-between stuff to see how much of their sanity Michael and Martini get back, to see how much they're able to heal and grow. And also there are changes. And sort of as Liv really nicely demonstrated in your outro montage vignette, a lot of the choices that Mythic and Micro made will continue to reverberate. We'll have echoes. And that's the King in Yellow, baby. So that's the way the King works. So we hope that you will join us. What's the date in August? It's the 18th. Am I getting that right? It's Thursday in the middle of August, and we hope that you'll come back and join us for season 2. It's going to be great. And also, if you are in the Lost Caravan Discord, We're thinking that we're going to add another seat to the team, so we'll have applications going up for that pretty soon, I would imagine. We'll get on that. And if you want to join MCell, everyone's welcome to give it a shot. Cast. My cast. Oh, I love you all so much. This team was, well, I'll say the perfect team for Chapter 1. And the dynamics and the interplay between these characters and where they are, it was a really nice cocktail of weirdness. I can't wait to finish this entire book with hopefully all of you, or at least some of you, so I can tell you, go back and read it so you can see the depth of this thing. And with that being said, I want to thank Dennis Detwiller too, who is the primary author for this, and everyone else at Arc Dream and Delta Green for being so supportive. Let's go around. I'd like to hear from everybody. How are you feeling? What was a highlight of the whole campaign for you, or today's session, whichever you'd like? And then if your agent is not returning in the future, this is optional. Have you ideas of who you're playing next, or what they're going to be like, or anything along those lines? Or do you want to wait it out, or do you want to say, I'll think about it, or maybe I won't be back, or whatever? Let us start with Casa. Casa, it's late where you are, and I appreciate you being up late every week. Martini is a delight, and for me is always the outlier of the group. And we've talked about this before, but is both like the most messed up, but also the least likely to chase a rabbit down a hole. You know what I mean? Like Martini's like, I'm not fucking with that. You know what I mean? But like also is like, demon summoning maybe. So I appreciate your character. Who are you? All that stuff I just said. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel a bit like I don't know, because life's just been kind of giving me whiplash recently, and for the last thing, I feel like I kind of dropped the ball. But you guys are so great. It was an amazing game. Anyway, with games like this and other games, I just like watching, and the fact that I get a front row seat in like a wonderful story with wonderful people. I don't know. Sometimes I get blown away. So yeah, I just it's a bit tiring. I mean, I don't want to go back, but
Well, you're breaking up a little bit, but
I'm just saying how much I love you all. You guys are beautiful and smart and amazing. And
whether you're back or not, we love you and appreciate you. Do you have anything you want to promote? Do you have anything else coming up that is a big deal?
You know, if you want to say hi,
Okay.
send me stuff. And I want
We appreciate you. Let's move over to Liv. Liv,
Yes, hi, hello.
man, Micro had a character arc.
Yeah. Oh boy, howdy. I didn't expect Micro to go off the deep end, but like looking back on it, wasn't she always supposed to?
She was kind of the cinnamon roll, right?
Yeah. So really quick, I have to explain my joke because I think I'm hilarious. And it's just as bad as Mythic's like pseudonyms for everybody. So I'm a big girl group stan. I love girl groups. It's my favorite type of music, like pop girlies. I'm a big fan of Little Mix. One of my favorite members of Little Mix, Leanne Pinnock. Her other group members, Jade and Perry, JP. Leanne's last name is Cooley. The word Khalid, C-A-L-I-D, is defined by characterized by or having moderate degree of heat, moderately hot, maintaining or imparting heat. So
I thought it was a DJ
That
Khaled
is-
joke.
That is very in-depth and complicated, and I just love you so much.
I want to
Thank
just
you.
correct. You said it's as bad as my pseudonyms for you. No, I disagree. Yours is actually clever. My pseudonyms were just bad. By
you.
design.
Thank you.
Agent
Thank you.
Computer.
Thank
I
you.
adore you, Liv.
There's too many layers. It was for me, so now I'm inviting everybody to sit down at my very cheesy table and have a feast. Yeah, no, God. I was very nervous about coming into this game because I'm not good at taking things seriously. Obviously not. I had to make so many jokes about fucking demons because I'm scared.
You and me both. It is
I
hard
know.
being horror.
It's so hard. But
So
I
many
did have
jokes I wanted to make today.
but I did have a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm really excited to come back. This is so difficult because we've made jokes about what my backup character would be, but like
Yeah.
this is also 2015,
Mhm.
so
It
I
is.
need to.
And we have a lot of options here. I want to encourage you to think that maybe Micro coming back is not completely off the table.
No, it isn't.
She would have to go therapy and vetting and screening and all this other stuff. But if she can repress that and get through it, she could return. And I think that'd be really interesting to have an older Micro who secretly harbors this need to serve the king in yellow.
Yeah,
Oof.
maybe.
Who knows?
Because I would like to think that Micro could keep it more under control than Mythic, but we'll have to see. Oh, also, I think I'm very funny. What's worse than having a YA series about wizards? A YA series
God.
about an Eldritch Horror.
That was such a highlight. That's how she spreads it is by like catering to the YA crowd.
Yeah, no, I
So
kicked
good.
J.K. Rowling out of her fucking throne. I beat her to the punch.
Mhm.
And instead of having Harry Potter, we have the Yellow King.
10-part series. I love it, you nerd. Oh my gosh. Liv, do you want to promote anything? Do you have anything else coming up?
Yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter at liveinaday. That's where
I already do. Oh, you're
Thank
talking to
you.
them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh, I follow you too. Hey, everybody,
Amazing.
follow our lovely GM. But yeah, so you can see where I'm going to be popping up next, doing things next. I am over on the Time Lord's Wife doing a Dragon Rider D&D campaign. I think we're gonna get our dragons. I think the dragons.
That's what
are
you said
happening.
last time.
I know, but then I was sick and I didn't show up. So this time I will be there and dragons are happening. You can also find me Under the Table, which is the indie-focused game over on Total Party Chill on Mondays, where we are playing Wander Home, but we might be changing games soon, and the games we're going from if what I am thinking is correct, we're going from sweet and wholesome to the complete opposite.
Oh my goodness.
And then this is a special little thing for everybody here. I have not announced this yet. This is the first time I'm talking about it. I'm going to be very vague about it because we're still working on things, but you might have heard about a little thing called the Barbie movie.
I have.
Big inspiration, having a lot of fun. Some friends and I might be bringing Barbie to the table. I don't know. I don't know. There might be some Barbie games coming up. I do. And here's your only other hint. The only thing I love more than demons? Fairies. And that's it. I'm done. I've said too much.
You are a conundrum.
An enigma wrapped in a mystery.
An enigma wrapped in a mythic. Wait, no. Michael, Turk, I love you. Hey, Turk, did you know what I did today?
Didn't kill me.
Before that, earlier today, I went on the Lost Caravan Discord because there was a casting call for August, which is Call of Cthulhu month on Lost Caravan, and I'll say more about that in a minute. But I applied for games, and I primarily just picked the ones that you're running, so you can get revenge on me. I want to play Call of Cthulhu with you as my keeper.
Yeah.
Anyways, so whatever. Anyways, Turk, Michael is a delight, and I said this every week. So just to have him as, he's not even, what's the term? Like, he's not the straight man. He's not the foil. Like, he's like this wall of morality, and just to have them for other people to like bounce off of, and other NPCs to bounce off of. It would have been a lot of fun to kill him today, but
you tried.
do it. I tried twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michelle had a plan, but he got her. She was running away.
Mm-hmm. And I feel a little bad about that, but not bad enough to not do it.
Mhm. You know what I really wanted? And this is behind the curtain. This is the Impossible Landscape Zone, our discussion show where we talk about things that happened on the show. It's a podcast, but it's not.
Possible landscapers.
Oh God. What I wanted to happen, if the timing was right, but it wasn't, I would have loved to have Mythic put the mask on and then head off into the stacks and emerge in her apartment and have the two of you in a standoff with each other, and him being insane and you seeing a guy in a gas mask and a leather coat. It did not work out that way, but it's okay. Anyways, I adore you. How is Michael doing?
Michael might need to change occupations. Because in my head, just the effort of going through all of this and still just MIA 2 people, especially if he starts seeing young adult eldritch fiction hit the shelves.
Your students love it.
I think that's when he would absolutely just cut everything off and call up his old buddies in the SEALs and just like.
I need to distance myself from these.
Yeah. Just like literally, it'd be one of those days where he just would walk up to his girlfriend and be like, "Yeah, no, can't. I'm sorry, my parents have never been alive." And
synchronization bye.
And not that far. It's just I've been lying to you. I'm a bad person. You should get over me and leave. And then like, just hey. It's the end of the 90s. We're about to get in some interesting times for the United States Armed Forces. So I think
that is cool.
He'd dive himself into that and just wait for a call from someone else he knows who is embedded within the Armed Forces. So he'd be waiting for that call to take a little reprieve back home.
I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, and he, I've been thinking. Should I do a favorite moment first? Should I like tease potential next characters?
You should do a dance and do whatever you want, man.
Okay. So I do have to say my favorite moment to the end is going to be the Night Floors. Just the whole sequence of everybody just losing their shits.
Really great.
Like, gosh, I'm really Liv. I'm really sorry you weren't there. Oh wait, were you there? And no,
someone was missing.
Someone was missing, and whoever it was, yeah, Liv, you weren't there, and I'm really sorry you weren't there because it was fantastic, and you missed the, just like, come on, you are a fucking inspiration. Sorry, like I gotta say that with my full chest right now. Like
the tomfoolery of the night.
Colin's so good at being someone else that is also competent and cohesive, and you're all amazing, and I'm very lucky to be with you, but oh my gosh. Anyway, for next characters, honestly, I've been thinking of if Michael does come back, it should be like a hey shit's fuck kind of scenario, like like that one guy.
Michael.
Yeah, like that old grizzled dude who's like coming out of retirement kind of thing, like with the full beard, sort of, Ishmael kind of thing. And like, so I'm hesitant to bring him in immediately. Just because it very much be like bringing back the guy from the Jason movies, like who's lived through it, who's he shows up with a shotgun, like.
Yeah. He can come back. He could come back next season. He could come back in the season after that. Like we could have him stay away a little longer. That would be interesting.
Absolutely,
we'll talk about it.
Because I have a character who would be drastically different and also gets me out of a heavy jacket in the summer. So, yeah, gotta wear something. Gotta work on my chest.
New character, a bodybuilder.
I mean, I'm gonna try, but no promises.
Nice.
Just gonna start doing push-ups now and hope for the best. Anyway, I'm really excited for what happens next, even if it's going to be bad, especially if it's going to be terrible. And I am so gracious to be at this table with all these amazing people who deserve better than what I can put out. Anyway, that's entirely too much out of me. I will quickly chill some stuff, though. Like Doc has mentioned, Cthulhu Week is coming up. Sign-up sheets are out on our Discord right now. I'm running some things.
Like 3 different games.
4, but I helped write some of the others. Write bits of the others. Anyway, I have Oathsworn every other Monday. We just had our last session this week. The next one's gonna be on the 10th. I've got Galgaleem, which is US Fantasy, on the 4th. I run a more consistent Call of Cthulhu game on the 25th, and then on the 26th, I'll be running something just for the mods of Lost Caravan. They asked if I could kill them all in an RPG game, and I said, sure, why not? I'm free. I'll be busy. I just sent an email to the whole Arc Dream publisher asking not only for them to maybe take a look at this game, but some other things. So keep it locked in, because things are going to occur and they're not going to stop happening. And I think everyone on your screen here deserves your love, devotion, and respect, and they are all vessels waiting to be filled. That is all.
Especially you.
No. Incorrect assessment.
Speaking of vessels, Colin, I need a vessel for my tears to fall into because of how talented you are. And also, anyway, Colin.
Hi.
Mythic is a remarkable character, but you consistently play remarkable, outstanding characters whenever I get to play with you or see you do anything. So fuck you.
I love you too, babe.
Love you so much. How are you feeling? That was an intense sort of thing. I think. Yeah.
I mean, these are the kind of conversations you don't get to see viewers at home. But during break, I'm talking to Liv like, "Hey, if I, hypothetically speaking here, murder you, is that cool?" And
there's nobody I'd rather be murdered.
I was gonna blow your fucking head off.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely, because the way that I feel like I could have done a better job conveying it, but the way that I have regrets about some of the things that I said during those scenes, but like the way that I saw it was that Mythic had that moment of seeing the version of himself with the gas mask in his head, and that was his moment of saying to himself, "Well, that's it. I've cracked. That's it. Like, I'm done. I'm not going back. I am fucking gone. And this thing is in my brain, and there's nothing I can do about it. But the best thing I can do, if anything, is maybe I can release Leanne from her misery, so that she doesn't have to be a vector for the rest of her existence." Yeah. And that was what he meant when he said, well, then I know what I have to do. And it was like, I'm gonna go off and fucking shoot Leanne so that she doesn't have to just be a vector for the Yellow King for the rest of her ill-begotten life.
But then you put the mask on.
But then he put the mask on and he was lost. Yeah. He was lost. And there was still, I wanted to convey that there was still a tug of war happening there. I don't think he's I don't think he's totally lost, but there's still an identity tug of war going on. So there was that. Yeah. He called my inspiration for that final call he made to Susan. My inspiration for that was I remembered the call that Walter White makes in like the third to last episode of Breaking Bad. Yes, where he calls to exonerate Skyler basically by lying. And so my thought was, if he calls Susan and says, "I made it all up. None of it's true. I lied to you about everything." If nothing else, that might keep her safe from Delta Green. That she's not going to go out. But then, like I said, he's between two minds. And I tried to do the thing where I was like change my speech pattern to convey that there were two different things going on. That was another Matrix-inspired thing of doing the weird speech pattern by asking her
Mr. Anderson.
Yes, the mailbox.
I think that
Love
was beautiful, and I think
Shack,
it worked really
baby.
well. And I think that's entirely reasonable that Mythic, although he is lost to the night world, and perhaps deeper, is like the sane Mythic is still in there somewhere. It's
Yeah.
just, it's kind of like the demon girl, right?
Mm.
Which makes no sense. Whereas, like, she is both a demon living this everyday life and granting like knowledge to people who ask about events and things like that. But she's also a 12-year-old girl. You know, there's this duality there that
Both things are true at once.
yeah, and I think that's where Mythic is, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Whoever he is with that gas mask on, it is someone else, and he is both of those people at the same time. But he is certainly a servant of the night world now.
What have you
So I
considered
have-
this? Have you considered that
Yeah.
also, and Mythic would know this, is that if he is going deeper and closer to the king, that's where Amelia is too.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, you know, she disappeared.
Yeah.
She's lost, but maybe she's there.
I think you just gave away that she is there.
Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
There's a lot of people who are in the clutches of the king.
Yep. A lot of
You
humans.
will.
Just stop. When you say with that much confidence, I get worried.
Come join us, Michael.
Colin, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to
I
cut
just
you
wanted to
off.
say, I have no idea what lies ahead for Dexter McDonald, but I really love him. I really love him in a way that I haven't loved a character in a while. I feel a connection to Dexter in a fucked up way, and he's one of those characters that I found myself rooting for, and also wanting to occasionally just fuck with him just to see what he could take. He's one that's going to stick in my brain for a while. He's always been a tough one to shake off. I'll tell you that. Whenever I get done with one of these streams and I go to lay down and go to bed because I have to work in the morning, I just have Dexter in my fucking head, and that guy won't shut the fuck up.
Well, if you come back
I
next
just- I
season,
love him.
maybe you can make a character with a good sleep pattern.
Well, so that's what I was going to say, is what I'd like to do is trade places. My offer I was going to make to Turk was to trade places with Turk and let you take for the next time around, you take the fast-talking, rambling idiot, and I will take the strong, stoic one. And that will give me a little bit of a rest. I've tried, you don't understand. I've tried to do this so many fucking times, okay? It reminds me of, there's a story about how when the first Galapagos tortoises were discovered, it took 200 years to get the first Galapagos tortoise from the Galapagos Islands to Great Britain. And the reason was not because they don't transport well, because actually they transport very well. The problem is what the sailors kept eating them on the way across the ocean. And I just kept imagining that every time they're like, right, this time, no, we're not doing it.
Not
this
eating
and
it.
then halfway across the Atlantic, they're like, because apparently they're delicious. Apparently the meat of a Galapagos tortoise is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I know.
But I have had so many times of trying to do, like, the guy who just has, like, a deep, gruff voice and gives one-word answers to things. Like, if someone says, like, hey, can you fight these guys? They just say, yes. And that's it. That is so fucking hard for me to do. It's
very
so hard
hard,
for me
yeah.
to not be, like, loquacious. I'm just so used to, like, rambling. And I just want to try it one more time. Like, this time I can do the guy who is, like, gruff and monosyllabic and just gets through it. I'm gonna do it this time.
You
So
have my
whatever I
full
play
support.
next, I want that tough motherfucker that just, like, is completely dead-eyed and just, like, speaks in, like, one-word
Brick
sentences.
Dead
That's my goal.
Steel.
When
Private
you
Yeah, that's-
investigator.
When you do that is the day that I do it. That isn't.
You do. Sorry, you broke
You
up.
broke
That is
up
what?
and I hate it. What?
Oh, I was gonna say the day you do that is the day that I do a character that is sassy.
You almost had one with Micro. You
I
almost had one.
and then you
And then she became sassy.
pissing me off. I really wait. Okay, not to like sideline too much, but like I do feel this is an appropriate story to share. One of my mom's favorite stories to tell about me is when I was like a small child. My parents always told me all the time, like, don't be sassy, like be polite, as you do with kids. And so apparently, to get around that, what young Liv would do, I'm not trying to be sassy, but
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I feel like I never broke that.
I forced you into sassiness by being such an utter dickhead to you over and over and over again until you had to punch back, and I don't blame you.
No, I couldn't take it anymore. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so I have no idea what lies ahead for him, but I know I won't be playing him for sure. I don't see, not yet. I like your idea of maybe he comes back in like a season after, but the next time I don't see how I could. Or maybe he
returns. Maybe the players encounter him somewhere.
Yeah, or I would give him to you as an NPC for sure. But I think that's the last we've seen of Dexter for now, for sure. What happens next, I have no idea. But I think it will be Gruff.
Oh, Mr. Gruff. I'm Dave Gruff.
Cool, maybe. Dave Gruff.
Cool.
I heard a great NPC name the other day from a podcast I listened to. There was an NPC named Swag Daniels, and I laughed so hard at that name, I died.
Swag Agent Monotone Daniels.
Agent Daniels. Swag Daniels.
Swag Daniels.
So, we invite all of you to come back next season. August 18th 17th is our first episode. In the next season, everyone in the cast will be playing an agent named Swag Daniels. And
oops, all swags.
I feel like I almost feel like
Swaggy.
Hello, this is Agent Swag. I'm Agent Swag. This is Agent Swag. This is Agent Swag.
I'm gonna stop there. This is ridiculous. I'm Doc Rimbo on Twitch and on Twitter. I don't have anything really coming up within the next few weeks, but next month here on Lost Caravan, in between seasons, July 13th, I'm going to be running a Delta Green one-shot with folks from the Lost Caravan community. We're going to be playing Last Things Last, and we've got a great cast. It's going to be a lot of fun, and just a little reprieve from the world of the King in Yellow, if such a thing exists. And then we'll return here for the premiere of season 2 in a couple months. Thank you, everyone who was around all season, and we saw all of the same names in chat every week, and we really appreciate you. Thank you to Hoop and everyone, and Dido, and everybody who helps Lost Caravan with stuff, and all the hard work that you do every freaking day, it seems like. Thank you to Dennis Detwiller and Arc Dream Publishing and everyone behind Delta Green, which is a great system, and cast. I love you. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm Doc. You have been fabulous, and until next time, all my hot and sexy friends are empty vessels waiting to be filled.